Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. My name is Jessie Terry, and I'm an independent demonstrator for the company Stampin' Up. I'm located in sunny Las Vegas, and in my craft room, we do all things paper craft. If you are joining me from YouTube, welcome. I am so happy you found me. This is a recording of our live broadcast that I do on my Facebook business page, Jessie's Cards and Crafts. And if you'd like to join in the fun, you can head over to Facebook and check it out. So while you're watching me here, do all the YouTubey things. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we got that out of the way. Hello, besties. Sign off when you are in. Hi, Pam. Hi, Sherry. How you guys doing today? Happy hump day. So happy. So, Sherry, I talked to you today. When did Pam come over? She was so cute. She called me and she was like, Jessie, I did it. I went over and I saw Sherry. I put pictures up. I was like, all right, very cool. I'm so excited. So, for those of you who don't know, Pam Maestas and Sherry Chapman are my besties. They're both on my team for Stampin' Up. And Sherry lives out of state, and Pam went there to visit family, but they've never met in person. And so Pam went over to Sherry's house and they hung out. So it was very cool. Very cool to see. So that was exciting. Who else is here? Hi, Karen. How you doing? Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Mom. Hello. Okay, so we have to talk about this. Every day I'm getting ready for the live, right? And I do them at 6. But right now at this time of year, the sun always sets facing my house. And it different times of the year it sets at different times. Obviously we all know how that works, but right now at this time of the year, you see the light lines over here, right there. They're coming down when I'm trying to set up and they're blinding me. And so, like, if I'm a little wonky or cross-eyed today, it is because I really can't see well. I have my blinds down, but you know how you have blinds and there's like the stringy things in the holes you can see? I can't get rid of that. And this is too much stuff to like flip my room for a little bit. So, yeah, we're just gonna deal with it, and you're gonna deal with me looking this way. Okay. So that's what's going on. So what's going on other than that? How is everybody? How are you doing? What is up? Are you being creative this week? Are you getting stuff done? Are you just chilling? I need to know what's going on, bestie. So that is what's going. Oh, okay. So it hadn't been, she must have left your house and called me because it was so fast. Because I was like, I talked to Sherry today. She didn't mention. um So there's only one thing that I want to say before I forget. Tomorrow, one day only sale. This is a big deal. It's the Stamptacular sale. That's what they used to call it. Happens once a year. 15% off of any stamp set. No bundles, no dies, just stamp sets and stamp I forget what they call it. Stamp products. So like your acrylic blocks are going to be 15% off. The paper that we put down as our little paper mats, 15% off. Other things like that. So tomorrow, check it out. Stamptacular sale. I also I have it advertised on the Facebook page, and there is a link to the page that will show you all the things that are going to be on sale, and tomorrow the prices will adjust, or tonight, depending when Mountain Time flips to midnight. So if you need help ordering, if you have any questions, hit me up because I'd love to help you. Okay. So let's see. You could see him, Cheryl, right? I know. And I was singing. It was terrible. I was trying to set up. I'm squinting, I'm looking. The screen had to be set up and it was all wonky and all I could think of was blinded by light. I just kept screaming that. It was very enjoyable and this is how I entertain myself when nobody's on. All right? I don't know why. Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm going to stop being weird now. Um, Here is the card for tonight. It is an easel card. We have not done these in a hot minute, I feel. And I was like, you know what? Let me show you the side. That's why it's an easel card because it sits up like an easel and there's a little mechanism on the inside of the card. So it just holds it in place. So it's going to sit up real pretty. Okay, so I just felt like we needed this in our lives today. You know what I'm saying? Now, for Friday, Terry showed me a really cool window pop up card, and I am going to try to do it. But I was like, we'll make that a fun fold for Friday because it was a little complicated. This one was much easier for my brain to wrap around, you know? So that is what we are doing today. You've just been chilling? Nice. I love it. Stamp clean. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Sherry. Stamp cleaners are on sale. So, hello, Miss Terry. How you doing? All right. Um, you called it a hinge card. Well, it does have a hinge, so I'll allow it. Okay, I'll allow it. You know, the funny thing about card makers are we have all these fun folds and stuff, but a lot of times they don't have a name. So I feel like it's a personal thing to come up with names if it doesn't have one. You know what I'm saying? So you could do that too. Just call it a hinge card. Call it one with a doojiggy. I don't care. All right, here we go. I'm going to flip down. I'll show you all these things as we get going. This is super easy. All right, let's see. Here we go. To the mat. All right. So there's a close-up of the card. Super pretty. Um, I am still working and obsessing over the Amber Autumn stamp set. It's such a simple set, right? Two images to pick from, but they kind of cover your bases for fall. Oak leaves, acorns, pumpkin, squash, corn. I mean, really, what else do you need? And then it's got really pretty sayings and stuff like that. But what I did with this card was I used a lot of different die sets. So we're going to use the Amber Autumn die set to specifically cut out the stamped image, cut out the little accent pieces, which would be the leaves and the little wheat stalks. And then the big die, I guess you would say, from Amber Autumn is this pretty um I want to keep calling it a frame, but it's not really a frame. It's a whole, it's like a background stamp, but we're using it as a frame or um we're covering part of it up is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't make me struggle bus. So this is a small die set, but it really has a big impact. So we're going to be working with this piece this week and a couple of the other ones. So we are fully using the Amber Autumn die set. But in addition to that, I brought in the words for the season die set. Okay. I love when you can cut out the words. Now, can we do this with heat embossing and the powders? Absolutely. But there's just something so nice about cutting it out, right? And it's so easy. It's one thing, you run it through, you're done. So, the thing I like about this set though is it's got Halloween, it's for your Christmas sentiments, it's for Happy New Year. It's got wishes happy and merry, so you can commingle that with the other words, happy Halloween, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, I don't know. And then wishes, Merry Autumn Wishes. You could do something like that too. So this, if you like the cutout words, this is like a really nice one to get on its own. Okay, so we're using that today. And then the last thing is, and I say this all the time, you need the basic shapes to go with your die cutter. So this right here is, I never remember the names of things, textured notes dies. But if you have any kind of a graduated rectangle situation, that's going to work, okay? This just happens to be the one that we have available at the moment. I like the little detail of it. So I just used one to cut out that one piece. Could I have done it with a paper trimmer? Absolutely. And in your measurements, I'm going to give you the measurements so you can do that if you don't have a die set that works. But it just makes that nice little edge. So that's the story of what I've used. Now I've pre-done a lot of our lives here, so I wanted to give you that information. Let me dump the pieces. Okay, so the first thing you're going to start off with is your card base. You're going to take a full sheet of 11 by 8.5 cardstock, and you're going to cut it straight down the middle at 4 1/4. So you can get 2 card bases for this card out of one sheet of cardstock. Then you're going to turn it long ways and you're going to score it at the, let me start over here, at the 2 3/4, so half of that front panel, and then right in the middle at 5 1/2. So then you're just going to fold it and give it a good crease down. Okay. Now go ahead and set that to the side for a sec. Now we're going to work on the front panel of our card. I certainly could have used the largest die to cut this out, but I just did it with the paper trimmer because I really didn't think this has such a little edge around it that I didn't worry about making it fancy. Okay, then I went ahead and I cut that beautiful leaf pattern out of my mat piece. Okay, so we're just going to stick that down with a little adhesive. So I went to one of the local casinos yesterday and popped in and filled out some paperwork, and they're going to get back to me with quotes for the retreat we want to have next year this time. So I'm pretty excited. We'll see what they say. It's all going to come down to price, right? So we'll see what they can do for us. I asked them for, and there's other casinos. This is the first one that I'm really seriously hoping will work out. But I asked them for a conference room that we could have Friday evening, all day Saturday and Sunday. Um, and some catering options. And then for all the guests that are coming in from out of town, a block room rate to make it hopefully a little bit cheaper. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is the start of our little journey on this. I'm so excited and nervous and hope it all works out. So, hopefully, all of you that are seriously thinking about it, be start saving, okay? Save those, have your coffee at home, is what I'm saying. Make a jar. Trip to Vegas, Vegas or bust. You know, that's what I'm saying. All right, let's see. Is that straight? Straight enough, right? Okay, so now I've cut the words out with the dies. The one thing I found interesting about these is they put the cursive um, main part of the word together, but the first letter is separate. When I first took them out, I thought I ripped it or broke it, but I didn't. That's just how they come. But it looks really nice. See? Now I'm going to do it sideways. If that drives you crazy, squish it in together. But I kind of, I'm a kitty corner kind of lady. What can I say? It's just what it is, folks. Now, every time I use these, I say I'm going to take the extra step and put the two-sided adhesive, you know what I'm saying, on there so I could just peel it and stick it. But do I do that, besties? No. I don't know why. Is it that I forgot? Who knows? Who knows why I do half the things I do? But you could also take like a little um, dauber, dip it in your ink, and um, just put a little, not ink, put the spudger, the sponge, whatever you got, in your glue, is what I'm telling you. Sorry. I just kind of smush it around. Okay. But then you get it on your fingers. Nobody likes that. Okay. Wishes. A little bit of glue there. That's going to be covered up anyway. All right. Let us see. Oh, it's warm in here all of a sudden. Every time the sun goes down, it's like it just bakes my house. You want to hear a crazy story? Okay, so for the past week and a half, I've been hearing this noise. It's like a motor running. And I have really good hearing. Okay. And my husband, he can't hear. He wears hearing aids. He has really poor hearing from all those years of being on the range. Um, so I keep telling him I hear this noise. I don't know what it is, and I'm worried that it's the motors in our air conditioning unit, is what I'm telling him. And he's like, I see what you're saying, but I don't think that's what it is. And I'm like, oh no, when I lay in bed at night, I can hear it. And I'm just worried that it's our air conditioning units because I saw this little thing that says the life of your appliances and how long they should last and stuff like that. Well, our house is 11 years old now, and all our appliances and stuff are too. And it says that they're good for 10 to 15 years. Well, we're at 11. So, I'm panicked because I'm just like, I know it. We're going to have to replace that. So I'm driving him nuts because I keep hearing this motor, and he's like, I don't know what you're hearing. Just ignore it. It's very hard when you're worried about stuff to just block it out. So, yeah, last night I sat there unplugging everything downstairs. So I unplugged the fridge. Okay, it's not that. I unplugged plugged our drink refrigerator. Okay, it wasn't that. I finally found it. It was the dang water bowl for the pets. Can you believe it? He was like, I told you it wasn't the air conditioning. I was like, you couldn't even hear it. How do you know? But my hearing is so good. When I would lay in bed at night, I could hear that. It was freaking me out. I'm like, why would I hear it in our bedroom? You know? This is what you do. You drive your husband crazy. I can't help it. He would have thanked me if it had been the air conditioner, though. That's my story, guys. I'm sticking to it. So I'm using this ribbon. I think it's retired. I tried to find it because I thought it was still there, but I guess it retired. I just think it's so pretty. But use what you got or leave it off. I know my girlies that don't like to tie bows might be like, I'm skipping that step. And that's okay too. Okay, so I got my little bow. We'll put that on in a minute. My hands are sticky. All right, so now I pre-did this, but just because my newbies like to see it. Get yourself a piece of paper and your stamp. Now, what am I doing here, ladies? I'm just kissing the stamp set. Light pressure. You don't have to crush it in. Ooh, see how sticky my hands are? Let's see if it worked. Okay. Even with the sticky incident, we're fine. You don't need a lot of pressure. You just stick it down on there, let it absorb into the paper. The ink is meant to transfer onto our stamps, and the stamps are meant to pick it up. So you don't need a lot of pressure when doing that process. And what happens when you crush it is you get too much ink, it goes everywhere, and then you're going to get it where you don't want it on your project. Okay? So these are all things, if you're just starting out, they take time. We're going to pretend I colored that. Like I said, I did it. But we're going to talk about our plates. On your embossing platform, it gives you the different sandwiches or layers that you need for each type of cutting or embossing, whatever you're doing. Okay. So I know the Spellbinders embossing system has this plate like this. I know that the Sizzix has a plate. Now theirs has different shims that you can, are on a hinge and you can take them away or put them down as needed. So it depends on your embosser. So go off of your directions, but people get really confused with what they're supposed to do. So I wanted to point a few things out. First thing, it's printed somewhere on your platform. And if it's not, then it's going to be in your instruction manual. Each of the plates are numbered. That's number 2. See this? It's got a number. See this? The shim? It's a number 2. See these clear ones? They're number 3. And for our system, we even have a number 4, which is a thicker one for 3D embossing. So that's my second tip. Look for your numbers on your plates. Okay. The third thing is now you're building your sandwich. See it even on ours, it even says like, okay, you're putting that down. Now you need. So we're going to cut it out. I need number 1, number 2, and 2 of the number 3 plates to use this. So I'm going to put my paper in and I'm going to take my Thinlit die And you're going to, I have to, give me a second. Yes. Okay, you're going to frame your stamped image as best you can, like that. Now, you can put a post-it note, piece of washi tape, or mint tape, whatever you got, to hold that in place if you're nervous that it's going to move or shimmy, or if your plates are older and they're warped. When you put it through, it might wiggle a little bit and off cut. So, secure it down. That's another tip. I know I don't do that a lot when we're working, but be better than me, guys. Now, the next step, we're going to put the last plate on. I'm holding it down, and now I'm going to put it through. You don't force it. If it's too hard and it's not going through, something's wrong. Your sandwich is too thick. Don't force it. You could break something. Okay? It should go through just that easy. And look, when I picked this up, the static kept these. And here's my perfectly cut image. So that's just a little reminder, refresher, or maybe you haven't done it yet. You needed the tips, right? On how to use your cut and emboss or your embosser. Depends on, like I said, which one you have. There's a lot out there. And they all pretty much work the same way though. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay. So now we have our cut, colored, stamped image. And I'm just going to pop this up a little bit with some dimensionals. And I'm going to position it here in the corner, wherever you think it should live. Excuse me. Now, I have some glue dots, and I'm just going to use one of those to tie my bow. Or secure my bow, I should say. It's tied. You can absolutely wrap your ribbon around and tie a bow. However, I find when I do that, sometimes it warps the paper because I've pulled too tight, or my bow doesn't lay down flat, kind of lays a little cattywump. So this way I can fluff it, I can get it the way I want it, and put it exactly where I want it on my card. So for those of you who maybe say, well, the bow thing is hard for me, maybe that'll help. Okay? So I'm just fluff it up. So there we go. Now, I've got some leaves and some little wheat stalks cut out. So I'm just going to kind of stick those around wherever I want them to live. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. And I like to pop up that front piece because then I can just slide these in place. See? Like that. So easy, guys. Yeah. Try not to get it past your frame because you don't want to make it hard to get in an envelope. It's hard because I like to go all out, like these little wheat stalks. Okay, well, it's going to be out a little bit. I'll tuck it in. I'll tuck it in, guys. It'll be fine. All right, so there we go for that. Now I have some extra ones cut. Let's work on the inside of our card real quick. Now for this, I have my card insert. I put a little bit of glue. I'm going to lay it down. Now I did not stamp because I wanted this up here to write, but I got a nice thick piece of the DSP to put on the bottom. So this is where we're going to secure our panel. Let me move that up into place. Okay, so now I have another little rectangle cut out. We are going to stamp a sentiment on this, however, real quick. So we did autumn wishes already. We're going to do blessed to have you in my life. All right. Pick it up. So September 22nd is the first day. Sorry, I hope my head doesn't get in the shot. I got to bring this right down because it's so close to being almost too big for this piece. Ah, it worked. Not today. Anyway, I'm sorry. So September 22nd is the first day of fall officially. I mean, it's been fall in my heart for months, but now it's officially will be officially spooky season. Who is excited? Is it getting colder where you guys are? It's a little bit cooler here, but not, sweater weather for sure. The most important thing with this easel card to remember is if you want to have the easel function or mechanism work, you need to pop up something, whether it's a sentiment or a focal point or something, with some dimensionals so that paper has something to kind of rest on. All right, so remember that. So there it is. There's my mechanism. It's just going to rest on it. And this is my room to write. Now I want to just put a few leaves and stuff down. I'm super excited. I want to do all the things. I'm kind of waiting for it to get cooler. My house is decorated. I want to do some baking. That'll be exciting. I bought some puff pastry and some apples, and I saw this thing online where you cut the apple into rings, core it, and make like a slice, and then you take the puff pastry, you cut it into strips, and you thread it through the middle and like wrap it around, and then you bake it, and it puffs up like a little delicious, almost like a donut or something. Yes, please. I'm doing it. I'm so excited. I was like, that's right up my alley. So that is what I am planning anyway. Now, if it turns out badly, we just won't talk about it. I think it's going to be good. Okay, so now we have our front panel. I'm going to put some glue just on the bottom. Just on the bottom because you want to adhere it to this panel right here. And the reason for that is you're going to want it to move. Hold on, let me make sure it's, yeah, even, it's straight. So the front panel is now free. Let me show it this way. You see, you're only gluing it to that bottom part. So this part is moves, and then you can create an easel. So how many of you have done easel cards? I feel like this is a pretty common thing. We just haven't done it lately, but I know if you've been with me for a while, at some point we did these on one of the free card making live packets. So I have some streaked dots. Woo! Javakula. I dropped my pick, y'all. All right, here we go. Let me see. Where do we want you to live? Now, these may have, you might want to go with something a little bit more flashy. I don't know. I'm feeling the fall vibe. I felt like it needed some, these remind me of wood, so I just felt it. Needed it, but you do you, friends. Okay, there we go. 2 cards done. What do we think? Are you loving this autumn set? Do you have it yet? You can get the stamp set 15% off, which is basically like getting the shipping and tax for free if you look at it that way. Super pretty. They're so cute. I'm digging it. All right, let me see. Sorry, my hands are so sticky. Use that double-sided sticky stuff. I guess that's the whole thing. Oh, look, the sun went down. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Life's little blessings. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Oh, that's right. It is almost your Thanksgiving, Sherry. That's pretty cool. Do you celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving and American Thanksgiving? Do you celebrate both of them? Because that's a good deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could get behind that. We have Canadian Thanksgiving and regular Thanksgiving, or American Thanksgiving. I don't say regular, but you know what I mean? Yeah, Karen, that's right. You did do that with the calendars. Very cute. Aw, thanks, Sherry. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it came out pretty good. It's pretty easy, you know. I let the stuff do the work for me. Yeah, I know, Cheryl. That would be some deal. That would be some deal. But they do have, what was I going to say? There are some things like the acrylic blocks that you can get in a bundle. Um, and then you get 15% off of that. But I think you get a little bit, you get something off for bundling too. So that's kind of like a little compound. For my demonstrators, that you would get your demonstrator discount, your 15%. So that's pretty good too. That's a compound. I don't know, you know, it all depends on what you're in the market for too. If you're like, well, I already have all those, wait for the next deal, friends, because you know we got them. You know we got them. Thanks, Ma. You like it? Hi, Janet. Welcome in. How you doing? All right. I don't know. That's what I got going on, guys. I think I was weird enough tonight. Told you all my crazy stories. So I guess the moral of the story is if you hear a weird humming noise, don't panic. It's probably not your HVAC system and you're going to be okay. Just start unplugging things until you identify the source and then you'll make yourself feel better. That's the other tip from your friend Jess. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys, I'm done. I'm gonna get off of here. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending some time with me tonight, and I will see you on Friday. Mwah. There we go.